Quicksilver, among the many speedsters in comic book history, Pietro Maximoff, better known as Quicksilver, stood out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for his cocky attitude, lightning-fast reflexes, and playful banter with his sister Wanda. Introduced as a morally gray character in Age of Ultron, Quicksilver began as an enemy of Earth's mightiest heroes, blaming Tony Stark for the weapons that destroyed his childhood home. But as the battle against Ultron escalated, Pietro's arc shifted from vengeance to heroism. The climax of the movie takes place in the floating city of Sokovia, where the Avengers scramble to evacuate civilians while stopping Ultron's plan to drop the city like a meteor. In the chaos, Hawkeye finds himself cornered while shielding a child from a hail of machine gun fire. In a flash of blue light, Quicksilver sees the impending tragedy and makes an instantaneous choice. Using his superhuman speed, he dashes in front of the bullets, absorbing the full barrage to save both Hawkeye and child. You didn't see that coming, he quips moments earlier in the film, a line that becomes hauntingly ironic as he collapses from his injuries. Quicksilver's death was shocking because audiences expected a character with such speed to dodge any attack. Instead, his sacrifice proved that true heroism isn't about invincibility, but about choosing others over oneself. For Wanda, it was a devastating loss that fueled her later transformation into the Scarlet Witch, making Pietro's brief but impactful presence a turning point for the MCU.
Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff's death, painful because it's a choice. Just like with Gamora, she ends up on Vormir, but this time, it's not a villain forcing the sacrifice. It's a hero fighting another hero for the right to be the one who dies. The physical pain of the fall is violent, but the real agony is entirely emotional. Natasha and Hawkeye, best friends who have been through hell and back, become locked in a desperate struggle to save each other by being the one to jump. It's a gut-wrenching fight where winning means dying. Natasha ultimately wins by kicking off the cliff, a final, selfless act of love for her friend and her found family, the Avengers. What makes it so agonizing is that after a lifetime of searching for her place, a lifetime of running from her past and seeking redemption, she makes the ultimate sacrifice right as she's finally found a home and a true purpose. Her death secured the Soul Stone, but it cost the team, and all of us, one of its founding, most essential members.
Multiverse Massacre. The Illuminati. The Illuminati's shocking fate is one of the most brutal sequences ever seen in a Marvel film. In Earth 838, Doctor Strange encounters a secret council of the universe's greatest minds. Professor X, Reed Richards, Captain Carter, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, and Mordo. They stand as paragons of logic and power, believing themselves untouchable. But their confidence proves fatal when Wanda Maximoff, possessed by the Darkhold, arrives to reclaim her children across the multiverse. The massacre begins with a single, horrifying moment. Black Bolt, whose whisper can level cities, is ordered to speak, but Wanda seals his mouth shut. His own power implodes, collapsing his skull from within. Reed Richards attempts to restrain her with his elastic limbs, only to be unraveled into ribbons before our eyes. Captain Carter fights valiantly, but is sliced in half by her own shield. Captain Marvel holds out the longest. Yet Wanda crushes her beneath a massive statue, leaving only Charles Xavier to face her mind-to-mind, only to have his neck snapped in a psychic ambush. This sequence stunned audiences because it defied Marvel's usual restraint. Beloved heroes were dispatched in seconds, their legendary reputations meaningless against Wanda's chaotic magic. It was a brutal reminder that in the multiverse, no one is safe, and even the mightiest heroes can fall like dominoes.
Uncle Ben. Not all painful deaths are a huge spectacle. Some are quiet, personal, and leave a wound that never truly heals. The death of Uncle Ben in Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man is the very bedrock of Spidey's entire story, and the film perfectly nails its devastating impact. Physically, Ben's death is tragically ordinary, a single gunshot during a carjacking. There's no big fight, just a sudden, senseless act of urban violence that feels horribly real. But the emotional agony? It's off the charts. The true pain of this moment is that Peter Parker could have stopped it. Just moments earlier, he selfishly let the robber escape out of petty spite. That one simple decision directly leads to his uncle's murder. The weight of that choice, the crushing, all-consuming guilt of knowing his inaction killed the man who raised him, is a pain that defines the rest of his life. It's the birth of with great power comes great responsibility, a lesson forged in the most excruciating way possible, paid for with the blood of the person he loved most. The mutant Darwin, X-Men. Darwin, played by Eddie Gathegi, enters X-Men, fascinating young mutants. His ability, reactive evolution, makes him seemingly invincible. Whatever the threat, his body instantly adapts to survive. Fire? He grows heat-resistant skin. Drowning? He develops gills. With a power set like that, audiences were certain Darwin would be one of the safest characters in the movie. But Sebastian Shaw, the film's ruthless villain, finds a loophole. During a tense confrontation, Shaw forces Darwin to ingest a concentrated ball of energy. At first, Darwin's body desperately tries to adapt. His skin glows, bones shift, internal systems flare, but the attack is too alien, too rapid for even his mutation to counter. His body convulses, then explodes from within, leaving nothing but shimmering particles. Darwin's death stunned fans because it shattered the very premise of his power. A character literally designed to survive anything is suddenly, irreversibly gone. Loki Avengers, Infinity War 2018. For nearly a decade, Loki was Marvel's most charming trickster, sometimes villain, sometimes reluctant hero, always unpredictable. Fans learned to expect last-minute escapes and clever illusions. But Infinity War opens by turning that expectation into despair. The film begins aboard the Asgardian refugee ship, already decimated by Thanos. Loki stands before the Mad Titan, bargaining for his brother's life. At first, it seems like a classic Loki gambit. He pretends to pledge loyalty, even offering the Tesseract, while secretly preparing a dagger for a sneak attack. But Thanos anticipates the move. With terrifying ease, he catches Loki's arm, lifts him off the ground, and crushes the life from him. No resurrections this time. Thanos growls as Loki's lifeless body falls to the floor. The scene shocked audiences because it stripped Loki of his trademark escape route. For once, the god of mischief had no trick, no second chance. Thor's anguished reaction drives home the loss. This wasn't just a villain's comeuppance, but the end of a beloved anti-hero whose growth spanned the entire MCU. Even in death, Loki proves his heart, choosing to die as a protector, not a conqueror. Suicide Squad, Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, was one of the few survivors of the first Suicide Squad film, remembered for his irreverent humor and chaotic energy. Fans expected him to continue as comic relief in James Gunn's sequel. Instead, he becomes the poster child for the movie's brutal unpredictability. The film opens with a new mission, a chaotic beach assault on the island nation of Corto Maltese. As bullets fly and explosions erupt, it initially feels like a standard comic book war scene, until everything goes wrong. Members of Task Force X are gunned down in rapid succession. In the middle of the mayhem, Captain Boomerang is struck by helicopter gunfire. Shrapnel slices through his body as flames engulf the jungle around him. He locks eyes with Harley Quinn, his longtime partner in crime, just before the helicopter crashes, finishing the job. The death lands like a gut punch because it happens so early and so violently. Captain Boomerang had survived impossible odds before, but Gunn uses his sudden demise to announce that no one is safe in this mission. It's both shocking and darkly comedic, a perfect encapsulation of the film's chaotic tone. The final snap? Iron Man Avengers. Tony Stark began the MCU as a billionaire playboy who loved his own genius more than the world around him. Over more than a decade of films, he evolved into the heart of the Avengers, a man willing to sacrifice everything for the greater good. Endgame gives him the ultimate test: battle against Thanos. The Mad Titan wrests the Infinity Gauntlet from the heroes and prepares to erase all life once again. Doctor Strange meets Tony's gaze and raises a single trembling finger, the one chance among millions. Tony lunges, seizing the stones with a sleight of hand worthy of his engineering brilliance. The gauntlet fuses to his armor, cosmic energy surging through his mortal frame. Thanos sneers,
I am inevitable.
Tony answers with a quiet, resolute,
I am Iron Man.
snapping his fingers and unleashing a universe-saving wave of energy. The cost is immediate and irreversible. The stones burn through his body, leaving him mortally wounded as his allies gather in grief. This death isn't just heroic, it's the culmination of Tony's entire journey. The selfish genius who once built weapons for profit gives his own life to protect countless worlds. His final snap not only defeats Thanos, but cements his legacy as the ultimate Marvel hero, a man who proved that even without superpowers, a human heart can change the universe.